There we go. I guess when I move the device from one USB to another, I gotta reselect all the inputs and outputs. Cool. All right, let me do this again. All right, that's better. Cool. So, welcome back. Kind of working on this minimum viable product. Okay, so what do I want to do? We had switched up some stuff here. We had switched up the tools that we use on the soil mound. The problem is that we can now harvest, but we cannot collect the soil mound. And of course, here we have an error. Okay, what do we have an error? ID on base nil. Oh, my item ID. So we're trying to get the ID on something, so we're getting the ID here. So that means whatever's in this guy doesn't seem to work. Now, why is that the case? Take selected hotbar item type. Seed. Okay, let's double check. Okay, now it works. Well, hold on. What? Excuse me? Why the hell is it working now? Something's not right here. We've got an elusive bug. Okay. No, I don't want to go there. Okay, we gotta be able to catch this. Maybe it has something to do with the selected item. Nope. Okay, so we have a bug. We gotta catch it again. I have no idea how we're gonna catch it. Wait. Aha! Okay, that's what happened. So I attempted to put something while selecting the empty inventory slot. Okay, that's fine. Let's take a look here. So when we have a command, take selected hotbar item, I guess we never double-checked if there is such an item. Milden, good day. Okay, so how do we search for this item? We have a variable. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I did quite literally pluck all day today. Most of the time I've been helping with some minor programming for a little project with my dad. But yeah, entire Saturday was pretty much kind of done doing that. Haven't done a lot of progress. Saturday is like one of the most free days I have, so I really like to get some crunch into these projects. Usually RTag Rise, but I also didn't do anything on Friday, so I'm like, I want to put some time into this project. We'll work on RTag Rise tomorrow. Okay, so I wanna get this project to a minimum viable product thing. something playable that I can just put up on Steam so it's just there, trailing towards that. I got a cool idea from one of my students today for this game. Water diving suit, and have some lakes or some ponds, some water bodies that you can explore, which is something that not a lot of games do. Like, games where you technically primarily start on land and then you spend most of your time on land, they don't tend to focus a lot of like on underwater exploration. I wanna add more underwater exploration here, uncover some mysteries, discover some interesting things. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be looking at doing. Right, I should probably add that to the list of things, list of mechanic ideas. Underwater exploration with diving suit. Just writing that down on the side. Okay, cool. Let me pop Keypress OSD on here. Cool. All right. So what do we got here? Here we have item taken. Return item data. So item taken should return either null or it should return this. So we're going to make a variable here called item taken and put null in it. Next, when item taken is found, it'll duplicate the data. The amount will be updated. If it exhausts all the items, it's going to be... There we go. It's going to be updated on removed, and then it will return the value. So perfect. So now this thing can actually return a null. So when we go into the place where the error occurred, we do if this is null, then we return. Because there's nothing, we haven't actually found an item to take. All right, let's take a look. Perfect. There we go. Okay, now, we can plan stuff here. All right. We can plan some stuff here. And what I would like to do, let's see. So we can use the sickle in order to... yes, the sickle sound. There we go. So we can pick up the stuff, but we can't pick up the soil mound. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking we should do. Some items should have multiple tools that can interact with them. So, how can we achieve that? Let's take a look. We got to change up the code a little bit. Item process, interaction process. Here we go. It's this one. So, close interactable. Left mouse button is pressed. Here we perform the mining process. And then, whoops. Once the mining process is done, it executes the mine command. Okay, so before we can do this, we have to verify that an object can be interacted with a particular tool. And I think we do it here. Check if the player is holding the right tool for this mineable. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Closest interactable has a tool needed variable, and it just contains the name of the tool, or the ID of the tool that we need to use. Instead of being a variable, we're going to make it into an array. We're going to check if it has this tool ID. Okay. Now, when this actually gets executed, we're going to say mine, and then we're going to send the tool the selected tool item. We're going to select the ID of the tool that has performed the mining operation. So now I'm going to have to go hunt down every object that has this tool needed variable, which is, I think, oh yeah, we only have a couple of them. And then we need to turn this into an array of items. Even if it only has one item, it's going to be an array. Okay. So we got fertile soil mound, fertile soil pile. Okay, berry bush. Berry bush takes a sickle for some reason. Okay, I think it just has to have something in it. All right, that's fine. So let's get what? Let's get our fertile soil mound. Is it mound or is it pile? Which one's which? Printing this for some reason. For testing. Current amount. Give item. So pile is the big one. Mound is the small one. Okay. So here when we do the mining, we're going to receive tool ID. Or tool item ID. Okay. Based on the tool that was used, so let's say here we can use a sickle or we can use a shovel. All right. So when this function gets called, we can check if I guess we can do a match statement. If the tool was a sickle, or is it CK? Sickle, then we do this whole thing. Now, if it is a shovel, then we need to drop an item. And technically, the item we need to drop is this one. There's a sound that it should probably also play. There we go. So it's going to give us an item of fertile soil patch and play a sound. Now the soil mound has no sound player. No, it does. Yeah, it does. Okay, what is this? I can't hear it. What the? Hold on. No, it's still using my interface. Okay. Fascinating. Okay, we'll assume that it knows what it is. So we're going to set the pitch scale, play the sound. And we got to be able to pick up this fertile soil mound right here. You know, a part of me kind of wants to make sounds, like one-time sounds, be executed by this by instancing a sound player at that position and just letting it play a sound and just having it die out. Honestly, it would make it so much easier than programming each and every object to make itself invisible, play a sound, wait until the sound is done, and then destroy itself for every object that can be picked up. So much work. So maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I'm going to make it an audio stream player 3D. We're going to call it one-shot sound. Or let's do sound. Yeah, one-shot sound stem. Cool. All right, we're going to give it a script. This is scripts. This is going to go audio, one-shot sound stem. This is going to be so much easier for things like picking objects up, because then you could just instance or queue free them right away. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is say play. play. And then we're going to send a signal into it. It's going to send a signal into itself. Finished. And when it's finished, cue free. There we go. Okay, it's going to go to Objects, Audio, One-Shot Sound Stem. There we go. Okay. So, this means that right here, do we talk to this node anywhere else? We technically do. When we're planting, this is when we're creating it. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So in here, we're going to comment this out. Okay. We need to preload, so var. Actually, do we? Yeah, we can preload it here. So one shot SFX preload. And we're going to be preloading one shot sound stem TSCN. Cool beans. We're going to pop back down here. Instance var new one shot. So we're going to set the stream. I guess we need to var preload, or I guess this is a pickup sound preload. Should we just place all the sounds in one dictionary? Maybe. Okay. Let's just do preload for this one for now. Okay, so what sound does it play? This one. Cool. Yeah, I'll take it. Where's the sound sitting at? Just copy that. Perfect. Nice. Okay. So, going back down here, stream is going to be this variable. It'll automatically play. Instance. Yep. And then we're going to get parent so that we don't put it into ourselves, because then when we destroy ourselves, it will destroy the sound. So we're going to do add child, one shot, and then tell the one shot to assume the position. So global transform dot origin equals global transform dot origin. Okay. Cool. I think that's it. Oh yeah, and cue free. Alrighty, let's give it a test-a-rooney. Boop, boop. Okay, cool. Take a sickle, take a shovel. Okay. So that's fine. What about the shovel? Nice. Okay, so it did make a sound. It wasn't very loud, but it did make a sound. Unit size is 5. So I guess we might want to take a look at this. Unit size is 5, so we can hear a little bit better. Maybe even 7. Okay. Let's also double check if we actually got the soil patch from that. Okay. Oh, we got 1, so I guess it works. Perfect. Nice. 3 soil patches. Okay, cool. So that works now. And that means... Okay, what about this? Does digging up this make us lose? Yeah, it makes us lose the item. Okay, well, maybe for now, that should be... Nah, it looks weird. I'm sure there's gonna be, like, raised eyebrows. Like, whatever happened to that thing that was clearly there? Well, the crops just vanished. It's the premature cancellation fee. The big man walks in, takes the wheat. Okay. And don't you dare collect the grains. Let's see. Fertile soil patch. It does give us fertile soil patch, but we also need to make sure. You see, I just realized we never actually check if the crops grew up. Huh. Right now, it just kind of instances whatever type of item is stored inside, or whatever type of drop is supposed to do. So technically, I could do some cheesing like this. Just place a crop and immediately start collecting it. Oh, look at that. Wow, that was great. Fantastic. Okay. So, yeah, it looks like that's not gonna be good. How can we fix this? We try to fix it using drops. Let's take stock of what we have. We have plant stage. Okay. Plant stage gets incremented somewhere. Okay, excuse me. Where do we do this? Ah, there we go. Each projected index. Uh-huh. Okay, that makes sense. So this is actually the line of code that sets the plant stage based on how much time has passed and whether or not the time that has passed happens to have passed the projected growth times. So every time you plan something, you predict. Do you make your own soundtrack? Yes, I do. It's my favorite part. It's the reason why I got into game making. It's to make music for my own games. Right, so plant stage determines what the crops drop. So we can technically adapt the system. Let's see here. Plant stages. Okay. So here we have the stages. Here we have the drops. You know what I think we should do? I think we should combine stages and drops together. Let's see. Here's what we can do. So we're going to turn this into a dictionary. Okay. Next. Next. This is going to be a key of, I guess, sprite. This is going to be, what is this? This is, I guess this is the time at which the growth should be at this point. So, growth time. Okay, but now we're going to add something extra to it. So I'm just going to make sure we have the same key value pairs in this one. And now we're going to add the drops to here. So at this stage, the sprite should be like this. This stage will be reached when 0 seconds pass. So that means right in the beginning. And then when we drop the item, this is the drop that we're going to get. And then here's the second stage. So technically in here, we should only get wheat seeds. And we should only get between 1 and 1. Because you can only plant one seed into the ground. So you should only get a random value between 1 and 1. Okay. Now when it grows up, it should drop this. Okay. So you see, we're changing up the system to fit this whole process. So maybe we don't need stages then. I'm kind of weary of removing it just yet. Maybe we will need something else here. But let's go in here and let's start changing up what we need to change up. So anytime we talk to master node, plant stages, we have to adjust the system. So for each stage in, you see I didn't put any comments here. I need to explain what's happening here. Accumulated time. This is interact. Okay, so pre-calculate the growth times starting from this moment. Okay. So we go into the plant stages. We go address wheat seed. So that's the idea of the item inside. We go into stages. So far, so good. So that means we're going to go here, and then we're going to go here. All right. So what happens inside? We take the current time. We add accumulated time, which starts at 0. And then each stage growth time is what we would like to extract instead of 1. It's not an array anymore. It is now a dictionary, so that's what we had to do. Okay, what do we do here? Get the growth sprite and apply it. Okay, cool. So, master node, plant stages, get the plant ID, go to stages, and then get the current stage, and then instead of 0, we access the sprite now. Okay. So far, so good. Where's the third mention? Okay. This is for dropping stuff. So, this is where the growth stage has to come into play. So we have our variable, plant stage. We go into the master node, into the plant stages, use the ID of the plant to access the wheat. We have to go into stages then, access one of these two stages. So we go into stages, access one of these two, whatever stage we're in right now, and that should give us drops. Okay. Well, here goes nothing. Let's take a look. Boop, boop. Okay. There we go. Plant. Crash. That's fine. Oh, yeah. The actual for loop. Accumulated time. We have to address growth time instead of item 1. Okay, fair enough. No biggie. The errors are our friends. They tell us what's wrong, so we can make it right. Okay, here we go. Plant, 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 plant. Okay. All right. Cool. Beautiful. All right. Let's see if collecting this will work. Cool. Here we go. All right. So that seems to be pretty good. Here's the interesting thing. Does it clear its own data when we collect? Because we shouldn't be able to pick anything up right now. Let's see. Ah, look at that. Okay. Invalidate index ID on base nil. Yeah. Duh. There's nothing in here. Or there shouldn't be anything in here. Let's see. Is there anything in here? We know that we store my item. Supposed to be null. Is my item null? It is null. Okay. Cool. So we never actually check if my item is null. So only if we use a sickle, we need to say if my item is null, return. Okay. Very multi-talent. To be honest, man, once I can support myself using this stuff, I'd say I'll be in a pretty happy place. But screw supporting. I mean, technically, I do have a very nice job that keeps me afloat. I just want to finish a project and have something to my name. Hey, okay. Well, that's fine. Okay, cool. Also, thank you. Sometimes I forget. Apologies. There we go. Okay. So, I'm gonna get some extra soil. Okay. So this time, I'm gonna see about planting and then collecting immediately. So, and then gather. Okay, here we go. Aha, look at that. Just the seeds. Perfect. So now our collection yield is going to be based on the growth amount. So we can actually add very easily, we can add like an additional growth level, like an in-between. That's going to give us less wheat, but it's going to give us something. So you could be like, I'll collect it early, but not get as much in return. I think that might be an interesting way of handling it. Okay, so cool. That works. What's next? There's still some weirdness with environments. Like when we enter, let's see, so we're here. Let's enter into the house. Okay, so right now it's displaying the correct environment. Sure. So right now it says it's nighttime. So if I exit, here we go. Let's wait for daybreak. There we go. Let's go back in. And I think the environment is going to be slightly kerfuffled. Oh, I guess not. See, that's... sometimes that happens. Let's see. Wait a minute, didn't I plant a bunch of crap in here? I did, and I believe I also stopped the program. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at this. Well, the environment is correct. We got that hollow moon in the background. I'm not able to plant here, right? Yeah, nice. So, you see, we had that check to make sure that the mouse is colliding with the terrain. Since it's not colliding with the terrain here, it's not even giving me a prompt to plant anything. Alright. Still have no use for this. It could only produce one thing. The amber dust. Okay, what kind of plants do you think we should be able to plant in this place? Give me suggestions. I'm gonna enjoy some tea for a moment. Potatoes, maybe? I think I want potatoes. Yeah, look at that. This already grew. Nice. Oh yeah, so I keep getting stuff in my container, in my inventory. You know, why don't we actually get ourselves a debugger? Well, developer console, that is, or developer window, so I can give myself some items. Let's see. Let me go ahead and comment this out. And I wonder if is it possible to check if a game is running within Godot.engine, because that would be like the easiest way to add debugger, like debugger mode. Let's see, Godot check if running from engine. Check. Ooh, nice. Check if the game is exported. Let's see. OS has features standalone. You can check if the presence of standalone feature flag. Unlike OS is debug build, it'll evaluate to true even in debug export templates. Ooh. Oh man, this is super cool. So this means you could just check for this, and immediately you'll know that the game is running. It's running in the engine. So I can just program developer tools only when this is true. Oh, this is cool. I like it. All right. So, how are we going to go about this developer console? I think all we have to do, we should be able to reuse our inventory slots. Inventory grid. Okay. It's a texture rect. And the code uses my inventory node, and it goes to get owner. So when this node asks to see the owner, it's kind of a Karen, but okay, it goes all the way up here to the top node. So what we can do is this. We can basically make a new scene. This is going to be debug. Actually, let's make it a control, just like a panel container. Panel container. Okay, dev item. Well, let's just dev panel. I'm sure we'll have other stuff besides the item panel in it. Okay. There we go. I'm not gonna make the anchors be large. We're gonna get ourselves a grid container. So dev item grid grind, apparently. Dev item grid. Okay, and then we're gonna assign a script here. Script global. I guess we could put it in global. Sure. All right, so the idea here is that the item slots are always talking to my inventory node, and they're attempting to get, let's see, the inventory category, which is always storage. So, unless it detects that it's a hotbar, in which case it switches to hotbar. This is kind of a dumb way to do it, to be honest. Knowing that there's a much easier way to handle it, which is basically just having one single dictionary for items and reserving the first row or first 5 items for, say, the hotbar. There's so much easier way to do this. Okay, anyways. What can we do here? Def panel. So we're going to make a variable called inventory. It's going to be a dictionary. And then func ready. What we're going to do is we're going to automatically populate every item from the developer, every item from the master node, which is all of this good stuff. So from the item database into this inventory. And the way we can do this is just by looping through it. So for each item in master node dot item database. And then this gives us technically this lantern, axe, shovel. So we got to be careful. This doesn't give us the item. Technically, it gives us the item key. Okay, so now we are going to, I guess we could just make a variable called I, started at 0, talk to the inventory, use I, and then increment I. So use I and then store into it essentially a duplicate of the item located at this key. There we go. And that's it. So we should basically dump all of the data from here. Of course, we don't use the raw data. We make copies and then dump it into this quote-unquote inventory. Okay, so let's save this. I think it's going to go into utility. Might want to move the script into utility as well. Def panel scene. Oh, there's no utility folder in the scripts. Alright, not for long. Utility. Def panel. Okay, cool. So, we'll place this scene, what is it called? Def panel. We're going to place it into the canvas. There we go. Alright, let's take a look. This is like creative mode of Minecraft. Let's see what crashes. Nothing, apparently, and also nothing works. That is to be expected. We never populated ourselves with the items. So, let's do so. So, create a new inventory slot for each item. Okay. So var I slot preload equals. We're going to preload this sucker. Can we find it here? No, I guess not. We'll just have to do item slot tscn. Cool. And then we do var new slot equals I slot preload. I doubt I'm gonna remember what I stands for. Or I'll be an idiot and I'll be like, islot? What the hell is an islot? I know exactly what's gonna happen. Okay, so we're gonna talk to the dev item grid, add child, add this child, And I guess I can tell this to have like 8 columns. All right, cool. Well, it created the nodes. It also crashed. Invalid get index inventory. 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 Well, that's a bunch of nonsense. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should run this code twice. Once to populate the data, second time to, well, I guess I can use I could just do like 4x in range of I, because I will basically have been incremented as many times as there's items, so I could just loop through the range of the numbers in this I variable. Why do I have 12 viewers? Where are you people coming from? This is unnatural. 13. Who's rating me? I don't have notifications on, so I'm sorry. I'm recording this, so I don't tend to have a lot of notifications. A lot of lurkers. Cool. All right. What do we got? We had an error. It couldn't find the inventory variable. Okay, well, where are you looking for the inventory variable? Invalid get index inventory and base null instance. My inventory node, I guess, doesn't get populated. Okay. So this is kind of a weird one. For some reason, sometimes get owner returns null. And I guess that could technically make sense. That could technically make sense if maybe we're instancing the inventory slot and it doesn't have enough time to get the owner or to figure out who the owner is. So why don't we try this? We're going to say if my inventory node is null, return. Okay, let's see. Okay, well. Oh, it crashed. Inventory open. My inventory node, inventory open. Right. Right. That could be the reason why. That could be the reason why we're not seeing much. Okay. What else? Invalid get index. Well, it's trying to get null instance. That makes sense. We have an input event that also effectively needs to check if my inventory node is null, return. All right. I should use buttons next time. So right now, what we're seeing is that the items can't seem to get the parent. So what if we try this? What if we don't do this in the ready function? What if we call deferred? Right, so we'll do func get owner delayed or deferred. So call deferred is effectively going to wait until the ready function is done doing its shenanigans and then execute it. So maybe by that point, this idiot should know who the owner is. I haven't considered this before. Yeah, well, not really. Okay, so it says null. We do print s. Okay, my inventory node object null. These other inventory slots know that the player is one, but these ones, not really. Okay, well, here's what we can do. I think we could go into this panel and say when we're creating these objects, we're going to tell the slot to make my inventory node be self. Okay. Now, right now, I think it's still going to maintain as null because this call deferred is basically overriding it. So I'm going to get rid of this nonsense since it doesn't work. We're going to bring this back, get rid of this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do if get owner is not null, then we're going to get the owner. Okay, well, we got progress. We got something. It says storage doesn't exist. Makes sense, because when we're populating the data into the inventory, we have to make sure that it's storage. All right, okay, what's next? Oh, yes, storage doesn't exist. We got to make sure that storage exists before we attempt to talk to it. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Here we can take an item. We can place it in our inventory. So check this out. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to... Okay. Interesting. How do we go about handling this? We need to be able to take the item, but not delete it. So let's do this. So we have this item slot. Let's do var dev item. Or what is it? Dev I guess we could do creative mode, set it to false, and then in the dev panel, we can talk to the new slot, set creative mode to true. Fantastic. And then here, we need to find the place where we destroy the item. Okay, here we have input. If shift is held, that's irrelevant. Oh yeah, we should probably avoid doing this. Let's do if creative mode is true, return. We don't want to do this if this item happens to be the developer mode item, because there is no, like, it'll attempt to put it to hotbar of the developer mode, and there is no hotbar in the developer panel. So, what do we do here? Right-click on an item. We don't want to right-click on it, so we can hide that. We need a left-click. It's got to be in here somewhere. Oh, it's earlier on. Here we go. Left-click. Okay. All right. So here it checks if the inventory open or the hotbar is the type of item, which it's not. So I guess in here we're just checking if the inventory is open. Cool. What do we do then? Oh, you see, this is why I should have been... Hindsight 2020. I should have been using buttons for the inventory instead of this method. But, you know, I only discovered the easier way to do this afterwards. In the Dreadtail project, I did something different. I handled the inventory using buttons, and holy crap, is it a lot easier that way. Okay, that's fine. What do we have here? My inventory node check if this slot has an item in it. Perfect. If it does, here we go. If this is not creative dev mode slot, destroy the item. Okay, so we do if this is not creative mode, erase. But this means that I want this to be duplicated. And deep duplicated for that matter. Okay. Must duplicate for dev mode panel. All right, let's see. So left click, nice. Perfect. Cool, so I can now just give myself as many of these things as I want. I need to make a display beneath the mouse. There we go. Maybe even right here. Hey, nice. Cool, so you see, I'm basically just reusing the inventory item slot, just a couple of minor additions, and now I can reuse it in order to showcase, in order to give myself items. So, easy peasy. We're gonna do something here. Let's see. We are going to... we have a variable that we have here. Inventory slot open. See, if it's still true, I believe I can still interact with those buttons. Oh, maybe not. Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. I can plan stuff in the distance. Okay. All right. So that's fine. Got to be able to place chests, which we'll have already programmed. That would be very useful. We got 16 berries. 19 berries, oh nice. Okay, now, what did that solve? What did we do today? We added the ability to harvest. You know what I just realized? We never fixed this. We ended up making the changes to the dictionary to allow us to reclaim some stuff. But we never actually changed the drop code. So let me pop into Fertile Soil Bound. So it gives us an item. Fertile Soil Patch. So maybe by using the shovel on the item, we should make it only give half of the projected items, because you're using the wrong tool. Okay. So patch still has to be given. Yes. But we're going to go through the drops. We're going to ceiling it so that you still get at least one. Okay. drop half of projected loot because of wrong tool. Alrighty. So we're still going to go through the drops, but we're going to ceiling instead of round. So ceiling always rounds up. And we're going to go divide this by 2 and divide the maximum by 2. So the way we do this is that we have a random range of how much of this item we're going to drop. So we can see that information right here between 1 and 3. So this means that it's going to be between 1 and 2.5. And that's going to get ceilinged up to 2. So between 1 and 2. Here, of course, is going to be between 1 and 2 outright. That's how we do it. Maybe we should go stricter. Maybe like a third or a quarter. Okay, well, we got something. Not bad. Oh yeah, one more idea I got that I thought would be kind of interesting. There's going to be a few of these soil mounts all over the map. So when you find it, you can dig it. Now check this out. Oh, it looks like it crashed. Invalid function mine. Oh yeah, that's right. So there's a whole bunch of objects right now that use the mine function, but don't accept any parameters. So we gotta find them and fix them. That's only tree and the fertile soil patch. So we're gonna do tool item ID in here, and we're gonna do tool item ID in here. Anyways, so what I was talking about, because you can dig up some of these soil patches, and because this is a heavily narrative mystery-based game, what if you dig up the soil patch and discover that there's a hatch underneath? And you're like, whoa, what the hell? Where does this go? Where does that lead? I just realized my second instance of OBS is not recording sound. Damn it. Okay. This is not going great. Okay, so let's just hope that this video doesn't get, like, corrupted or anything. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna end the pause the recording and restart right now because it's already been an hour. You know what? It's a good wake-up call. Give me 1 second. Okay, so the stream is still running. That's fine. I'm just gonna quickly make sure that the second instance of OBS is actually recording the frickin' sound. These damn Behringer audio interfaces, like, they sound fine. They do the job, but god damn, are they like Behringer level, like signature Behringer glitchy. Ugh. Be right back. And we're back. Cool. All right. So, I guess we can probably do this for another hour. That should be fine. What do we want to do? Let's take a look. So, minimum viable product. Okay. Hatch under a soil patch. Hatch under patch. Okay, minimal viable product. What do we need to pull this off? Respawn world resources. Defending yourself from enemies. Oh yeah, maybe I can focus on this one. So, I'm not... Ah, damn it. I shouldn't have closed it. God darn it. Okay, here we go. Didn't mean to do that. So, we technically already have a combat system, but my god, is it terrible on your wrist. It is just horrendous. But I want to keep that hand like manual attack, but I think the fact that we're basically battling teeny tiny little dots, it's more annoying than interesting. So here's what I'm thinking. What if we increase the size of the attack? Where is it? Nullman. Nope, that's not him. Yeah, it's this guy. Okay, kind of a little tester enemy. Okay, so yeah, you see it's like you gotta do that. So what if we're going to make this enemy have a large attack sphere, large attack dot, and then it's easy to hit. You just gotta be like fast. Yeah. So right now, those 3 dots. Right. So this, I wouldn't say this is really all that interesting or challenging. So what if we're gonna make it so that you have to like hit the enemy as fast as you can? Right. It's like it's got to go through the middle. So it's like, and well, that's basically that's the idea. Let me try to look for some sounds, though maybe it's some sort of a punch sound that I can use. Okay, here we go, zap splat. So let's do punch. Like a cartoony punch. Not 8-bit, no, that's not gonna work. I've heard those before. Double punch. Nope. Double punch, punch back. I need like a cartoony punch, at least as a placeholder. Heart punch. Cartoon impact. Ah, nope, that's not what I want. Cartoon punch. Yeah, kind of like that. All right, so I think download this, that, and this. Yes. Okay. I don't think those are player sounds. Well, maybe. Let's do player attack. Okay, here we go. Place him in here. Oh, gotta select the right folder. Cool. Okay. So that should be fine. How do the enemies create... Ooh. How do these enemies create their attackable range? This is chasing, searching, idle, line of sight, draw enough path, take damage. I guess they don't? Excuse me. I think it's the player that does it. Clear placeable blueprint, check mouse and panel. Combat process. There it is. Okay. So here we check if the enemy is in proximity. Here we check if the left mouse was just pressed. Well, that's not right. Oh, actually, yeah, so it's waiting for me to press the button /state. It sets the position of the attack cursor. So I guess the attack cursor is just permanently inside. But where do they get created? Hold on a second. Combat. Beautiful. There they go. So create new orb for this enemy. This is where we create those attack orbs. Okay. Hmm. Now we're kind of already handling it here. Should we just continue handling it here? Let's see. So it says enemy spirit orb preload. This is the scene. So it's objects UI enemy spirit vessel. UI enemy spirit vessel UI. Okay. So technically, the spirit vessel is the one that handles the creation of hit points. Okay. So it creates as many hit points as the enemy has health. Okay. What if we do this? What if we skip this part? So no creation of these hit points. What if we simply have one hit point? Maybe we'll go to like the invisible hit point. Let's do area 2D. Actually, let's get a sprite node and get us some sort of visual representation. So sprite vessel orb. Yeah, sure. Okay. Give us an area. We'll see if I can repurpose it. Shape. Okay. And then we know that there's a signal here. We're going to take the signal and what is it? Body entered. So it's looking for body. We're going to simply attach it to the same exact signal. It is expecting two pieces of data, body and hit point. I think we can forego this. We don't need to check if it has already been hit. We don't need to change the color. We need to take damage. And we don't need to do any of this stuff with the hit points. And that's because it's not even going to accept the hit point anymore. We need a whole new system anyway, so I don't feel bad like destroying this stuff. Bam, bam, bam. It worked. It technically worked. It didn't make oh yeah, shake amount. There's no shake amount. The shake amount's supposed to be on the enemy. So when the enemy takes damage, so here's a dummy enemy. Okay, when this dummy enemy takes damage, we need to make it wiggle. So here's the sprite 3D. Okay, for some reason, scaling doesn't do anything. Fascinating. I guess, hold on. I think I might know why. We gotta go into material override. And we have to make it preserve keep scale. Yes, there we go. Nice. So this means we can still do stuff like this. Not on the z-axis, because there is no z-axis. But here we go. Okay, we can make this thing wiggle. So, we can do general enemy. Let's do var attack wiggle 0.0 var attack wiggle amount 0.0. We're going to go to physics process. We do our good old favorite wiggle code. 20 times delta. So attack wiggle is going to be, I think this variable should be called something else. It should be called attack wiggle time. Because that's what we're manipulating there. Multiplied by attack wiggle amount. And of course, I don't think we want this to be full sign, because that's going to be -1, +1. So we're going to multiply it by 0.2 to dial it back. And then that is the attack wiffle. Okay, let's talk to the sprite 3D. Scale. And then we're going to set the scale. I think there's a scale. There's got to be a scale. Vector 3. It's 1 plus attack wiggle, and then 1 minus attack wiggle. Phantasmo. It's a vector 3 though. 1.0 on the z-axis. Okay, so now we need to make sure that this gets multiplied by 0.95 so it dissipates. And when we take damage, for now at least, we're going to set it to 1.0. Certain enemies will have to wiggle less, others might have to wiggle more. But now, if we do this, it does nothing. Attack wiggle amount. Where did we place the code? Physics process. What do we have here in the debugger? Get var. Decode variant. Condition like false true. Returned. Error when trying to encode variant. Okay. We're gonna ignore that for the time being, because I think this has nothing to do... Oh, soil mount. I think it's trying to load the data, but it's failing. Okay, that's fine. We'll return to that in a sec. Here's what I want to know. We have take damage here. Attack wiggle amount. Get set. Wait, what? We have damage wiggle amount. What? Hold on a second. I just reprogrammed something that was already here, didn't I? Damage wiggle amount. I did! Oh my god. Damage wiggle sign. It's... Okay. This is what happens when you have silent lurkers. Everybody's just sitting there cringing at me, literally programming the thing that is quite literally right down here, programming it again, and not letting me know. They're just taking in the cringe. They're feeding off of it. Okay, so attack wiggle amount is not needed. We already have that. It is called damage wiggle amount. That's probably why it wasn't doing anything. Okay, here we go. Because it kept getting overwritten. Let's see this. Well, now it should be doing something. Okay, so right now, all three of those enemies are going to be printing this value. There you go. So you see, it does get set. And why don't we then print the scale property of this item? There you go. So it does adjust the scale. It just doesn't show it. And it is called scale. Oh, you know why? There's two materials. There's this one, and there's another one. But the other one is the one that doesn't have the glowy eyes. So that's the one that we end up seeing by default. And that one doesn't have the preserve scale enabled on it. Okay. Alright, I see how it is. So, take this guy. Billboard keep scale. Take the glowy one. Yep, there we go. Let's try this. Don't understand GDScript. Ah, that's fine. Hey, look at that. Okay, so now we can actually attack them. Now, I don't want to see this orb. So I'm going to disable its visibility. Let's see if the area 2D can still be interacted. It looks like it can. Nice. Okay. Now, we need to be able to attack that character. So that means we have to be able to... check if you're holding a weapon and only then attack that character. Now, I'm going to have to then make a change to the item database. Let's see. I don't have any... I have an axe. Technically, it could be called the weapon. Technically, it's a weapon and the tool. Okay. So, we have to go to the player. We have to check if the current item being held happens to be a weapon. So we have this attack, combat process. Okay. What do we got here? /state idle. Check if the enemy proximity is above 0, or the enemy in proximity list size is above 0. Check if the left is pressed. We might have to change up some of this stuff. And then if input is actually pressed, so we're holding the mouse button. Okay, so here, check if player is holding a weapon. So how do we do that? Well, we have technically done something like this already. We have a selected, what is it, hotbar slot? Selected hotbar. And we technically do have those other two variables, selected item name and item ID. If we can also get selected item type, then, well, technically we're just kind of doing duplicating the same code that we already have in the interface, in the inventory. So maybe we are going to not do that madness. Instead, here we go. This is where we check if the hotbar... Yeah, okay. If the hotbar has a selected item. So we're going to go back to combat process. So if the item, the selected hotbar happens to be a valid item in our hotbar, and not only that, this item has to have a type. So you see type, it's an array of keywords. So we're going to check if the type array contains, so has, this particular weapon, or this keyword of weapon. So this means, yes, your selected hotbar does have a valid item in it, and its type has a keyword of weapon. Cool. So this means we should be able to attack with it. Now, realistically, it might be a good idea to display what item it is that we're holding. So if I have an axe, then have the axe be displayed on in my mouse, so that I could be like bam, 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 and get rid of this sassy little, pansy particle system. Looks terrible. But let's see, how can we do this? I'd say we're pretty close to getting something up and running. We have mouse sprite. Mouse sprite. Should we just repurpose mouse sprite? Nah. Let's just add another sprite node. This is going to be weapon sprite. Okay. Now, realistically, mouse sprite position and weapon sprite position would work together. So they'd have the same item. Now, when we go to combat wombat, if we are holding this mouse, we're going to tell the weapon sprite to reveal itself. Okay. And we also need to tell this weapon sprite what type of texture it's supposed to have. That we should be able to extract from this item. So if we go here, I think it's icon. Yeah, just icon. And it's a string, by the way, so we have to load the sprite into it. Okay, there we go. So left clicking doesn't do anything because not a weapon. Select, left click. Okay, you can see the weapon is being displayed and I can actually attack with it. Now that looks terrible still, but working on it slowly. Here we have attack cursor emitting. I am going to comment this out because that looks terrible. And I'm going to make the sprite display a bit larger. Yeah, like 1 and 1. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So, not bad. So I can work with this. Did it crash? No. The particle system stopped being rendered. Do I talk to this somewhere else? No, I don't. I just forgot to hide it. because it used to be hidden right here by this line of code. Okay, cool. I need to line up the weapon. So right now the icons in the inventory have a slight tilt. It's not exactly a 45-degree tilt, but it's there. It's doing something. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the sprite, rotation, degrees, and then make it be equals to, what is it, -20? Let's take a look. I just want to straighten the axe icon. And you see all of the items here have that exact same angle. So yeah, there we go. Okay, I think maybe 25 might be good. So what I want to do is I actually want to adjust the angle of the axe. There we go. I want to adjust the angle of the axe based on how close it is to this particular enemy's attack orb. So it's a little bit more reactive. Let's see. How do we know if we are close? I believe when we approach the enemy, we instance this new enemy spirit orb, and we also tell the enemy, hey, you have to know what your spirit orb object is. So there's a reference to the spirit orb in the enemy. So that means here we can talk to the enemy proximity. This might not be the greatest way to do it, but let's see. So my spirit orb dot x minus the weapon sprite dot x. And that is going to be the angle of the weapon. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a disaster, but I just want to see what this looks like. It's not going to look like anything because my spirit orb on base array cannot be called. That's right. What am I talking about? Let's talk to the closest enemy here. Technically, it's not the closest enemy. That's just the first enemy to enter the array. Okay. Give me something. Come on. Node 2D. Position. Gotta talk to the position before I can get the X value. Okay. Oh. Well, I mean, it's doing something. Cool. Can we also flip the sprite? I want to flip the sprite based on if the mouse is to the left or to the right of the enemy. So we're gonna do flip H equals, and then we can simply check if this is larger than this, and that this is produce a true or false. So this whole thing produces a true or false because we're doing a comparison here. So if it's true, flip H will be equals to this true. And if it's false, flip H will be equals to false. All right. I'm pretty sure it's going to be reversed, but I don't really care. It's faster to... Interesting. Okay. Weapon sprite flip H. Fascinating. I guess that kind of makes sense. Because the position, we're kind of dealing with unprojected positions. So positions of objects on the screen. The weapon sprite already does that, but this enemy vessel position on the screen, global position. Okay, so I might want to do global position instead of just position. Spirit orb. Actually, hold on a second. Maybe this enemy is not even the right enemy. Print this. So this is going to print that enemy. And we can also do the same thing when the attack takes place. So that's in here. Yep. When we enter, what is it? The attack area. We're going to print my enemy. All right, let's compare. I have a feeling that we're not actually talking to the right enemy when we talk to enemies list of 0. So, bam. I am printing the scale of the enemy, which is flooding my outputs. And I can't see squat. Dummy enemy. Don't. Thank you. Okay. What the? Okay, so it's 3157. I didn't see it. Oh. Okay, let's see. 3157. No, it is the right enemy. Hmm. Just gonna print this real quick. This is enemy proximity 0. Print S and print S. I'm almost certain it's the same enemy. I didn't see any variations in the ID. Burp. Alright, so 3157, 3157. It is the same enemy. Okay. So, how come the positions are not the same? Let's actually double check this position. So print S. Let's see this. Okay, so you can see that the first value is the position of what? It's the position of the orb on the x-axis. The second value is the position of my mouse. You know what? Maybe that's what I should use. Not the position of the sprite, but the position of the mouse. Let's try this. So, get viewport, get mouse position.x. Alright, let's take a look at this. No, not really. Also, why is it giving me a negative value? That is so weird. Global position gives me a negative value. Or does it? We're not getting the global position. That's probably why. Also, I wasn't printing the mouse position. That's probably why. Alright, let's keep our values updated here. Hey, okay, there you go. So you see it's flipping. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at now the difference of angles. I believe when we flip, this value has to change as well. So let's do this. I'm gonna do var flip equals true if flip h is, I guess we can do, actually no, we're gonna do straight values. So it's gonna be 25 if flip h is true, else negative 25. So I'm gonna do this. And for now, I'm just gonna comment out the rotation. Yep, there we go. So you see the axe is flipping. The only thing is I need to make sure that I inverse these values, because when the axe is going at the enemy, it has to face the enemy. Okay. Uh-huh. So no, the values are correct. It's this value. Yeah. So it's this value, and I'm guessing technically since that was inverted, this has to be inverted. Or maybe not. Oh, yeah, I guess not. Okay. Like that. Mm-hmm. There we go. So see, the axe is always facing the enemy. And now, I need to make the rotation happen. So the rotation is going to be the difference, I guess, global position and the mouse position. And we actually need to way tone this down. So let's do multiply by 0.2. Okay. No. Okay, almost. So it's doing the opposite. It has to swing back when we move away. So we're gonna swap these places. Just like that. There you go. See, so if it's far away, it swings back. And when it goes into the enemy, bam, and then bam, and then bam. All right. Cool. Well, now we need those sounds, eh? We need those sounds. How are we gonna handle the sounds? I think we can position... Yeah, we can place it at the position of the enemy. And we have that single instant sound we've created, so we'll probably just work with that. Let's do var punch sound effect. Player attack. Nice. Okay. So we need to instance var single SFX layer preload, or not layer. I guess it'd be single SFX what? What do we call this sucker? One shot sound stem. One shot sound stem preload. We're gonna preload this. One shot sound stem TSCN. Noise. We're gonna pop back into where? Oh, you know what? This isn't where when we attack. This is where we move around the axe and make it look nice. So we shouldn't be doing this here. No. This, I'm gonna copy this, but only take out this. I'm sure I'm gonna need the preloaded single stem after later somewhere. What we need to do is find that one place where we detect the hit, which is here. So we can preload the sound here. Okay. We're gonna do instance. New sound effect. I'm gonna set the stream to be equals to one of these sounds, randomly chosen. So we're gonna do randy to create a random number based on the size of how many sounds there are here. And then it's gonna have to be added to the world. So we're gonna do get we got added to the world. So we're gonna do get tree current scene add child. And the reason why we're not doing get parent is because technically this would end up inside of the player. So we're gonna do add child, new sound effect, and we're gonna tell that sound effect to assume the position. So global transform dot origin equals what? My enemy. My enemy's global transform dot origin. So this will make it be positioned there. All right, let's see this nonsense. Let's take a look. Oh. Well, now. I mean, it sounds too bassy, but hey, you know what? Let's go on a hunt. See? So it doesn't work anymore. Because, the first enemy had been removed. Interesting. Well, I mean, the proof of concept works. The rest of it doesn't. And I think, you know what? I think it's because the enemy doesn't get removed from the array. See, we have this enemy proximity. In combat body entered. This is where we append it if it doesn't exist. And here we find it. And we remove it. We tell the spirit orb to destroy itself. Let's check if this actually runs. So print destroying the enemy enemy record. So let's see if that gets cleared once we destroy the enemy. Bam. Destroy the enemy record. Yep. So that is there. Let's make sure that we make the weapon sprite be invisible. Excuse me. Okay, this is the sign that I need to call it for today. I'm already screwing up something as simple as false. Okay. Okay, so the axe is not being displayed anymore. Here's another enemy. Hey, there we go. That works. Ah, you know what? That's interesting. So it does work. I think the problem might be that the axe has a different location than the orb of the enemy. I think the orb of the enemy is being displayed in like some area above the enemy. Yep, so that's right there. So we have to actually hit this particular zone. Also, I can't... There we go. That's another bug we're gonna have to fix. So you see, if I hit it like this... Well, apparently something happened. There you go, see? So... Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And then here, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. The only thing that does work is if we get the center of the mouse to cross. And this is because the mouse is technically moving this one teeny tiny little area here that is responsible for attacking combat mechanic. There it is. There's the kinematic body. That's the one. Let me try something. I just want to see where that particle system is at. We're almost at the end of the hour mark anyways. Okay, here we go. So you see the particle system kind of lags behind. So what I could do, I could simply take this weapon sprite, put it into this kinematic body, and of course I have to update this, and this, and that. Oh, okay, more things to update. Yep, visibility. Okay. Oh, more things to update. Weapon sprite position. Oh, we don't need this anymore. The weapon sprite is inside of this kinematic body here. Nice. Okay, so... Okay, there it is. I'm not sure why it's all the way over there. Attack cursor. Weapon sprite. Yeah, there you... Okay. That's why. We just had to reposition it within a new parent. Okay, there we go. See? So it's like... It's laggy behind as well. Nice. So now I can remove or at least disable the that particle system. So don't emit. The only last problem is that the axe is still calculating its angle based on the mouse position rather than the position of this little laggy object. I gotta say, this does feel a little bit better. It's still using the mouse, so you're still kind of engaged in the combat. Alright, come at me, bruh. Come at me, bruh. Nice. Okay, come on. Okay, so that's fine. What if, just to improve it a bit further, we are not going to display whatever the hell that is. Attack cursor trail. I would like to display the axe here. And I think this is -20, -25. And this shape, we're going to increase the shape and position it right at the tip. Like that. Okay. And then for the spirit vessel, we can turn the shape into a capsule. Just a little bit taller. A little bit harder to miss. Okay. All right. That's good. It's still a little janky. Let's go update this whole thing. So instead of the position of the mouse, we're going to be using the position of this kinematic body. So let me try global position.x. Let me double check how this works. Double check if the values are indeed in global space. Yes, oh, looks like they are. Nice. Yeah, okay, cool. So I should be able to use these instead of viewport position of the mouse. We're going to be using this. Okay. The only last problem is that we can't attack more than one enemy at a time. Nice. The little bit of a lag behind it really helps to make it feel more dragged. As a matter of fact, we could decrease this, or we could give it some more lag. So the player has to physically move the mouse further. There we go. All right, let's take a look what happens when there's 3 of them. Oh god. Never mind, I guess we can attack multiples. Okay. Cool. It works. The attacking works, and this, to be honest, feels a little bit better than trying to chase little teeny tiny dots over there. And I am going to disable the sprite, so we don't have to look at an ugly, poorly drawn circle. Circle. Maybe the speed could be a little bit better. Let's get back to 10. Little Smith! Nice. There we go. Think I can work with this. Come on. Can we run away and attack at the same time? I see. Nice. It's not as comfortable because the prompt doesn't pop up immediately. But I think we can figure something out to make it work. Oof, okay, well, that, I would say, is a pretty decent chunk of progress. What have we done? Combat system. Okay. I know that are rhythm-based, but I don't think we're doing rhythm-based. We're doing mouse swinging. Blocking would be kind of nice. So you swing the sword or the weapon to their attacking object. Traveling trader. We got rain event. So patch, wood, collect berries. Let's do potatoes. Jeez. Come on, man. Potatoes. Okay, so we'll figure out these basic mechanics, and then we'll push this minimum playable version to Steam, and then we'll go from there. So, yeah. I make it sound like this... I just have to, like, finish up these teeny tiny little features. Of course, they're teeny tiny. Not. Not bad. I'd say, even since today was kind of uneventful, I would say that I've addressed some pretty major features. Well, alright. So, I think I'm gonna end this for tonight. I'm gonna call it a day, lay in bed, replay some GTA 4. God. That game's awesome. That game runs really well on Steam Deck. It actually is really comfy to play. I was very pleasantly surprised. Okay, so thanks everybody for watching. We are gonna continue this in another day. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something.